I'd like to do a review about a show called Babylon 5. It came out in the 1990s. I think it ran from 1993 to 2007. It's an American science fiction television series produced and created by J. Michael Straczynski. Okay, the show centers on the Babylon 5 space station, a focal point for the politics, diplomacy, and conflict during the years of 2257 and 2262. With its prominent use of planned story arcs, the series is often described as a novel for television. All right. In its first season, Commander Jeffrey Sinclair is in charge of the station, assisted by Executive Officer Susan Ivanova and Security Chief Michael Garibaldi. There are some other key players, which is Londo Mollari. He is the Centauri ambassador. G'Kar, which is the Narn ambassador. Okay, also Ambassador Delenn, who is Minbari. Now, the Centauri and the Narns hate each other. The Centauri enslaved them decades ago, and that is a source of conflict in a lot of the episodes. The Minbari humans also had their own war, but those are generally the main characters you're going to see. All right, now I'm going to skip the pilot. So the episode I want to talk about is Midnight on the Firing Line. Okay, so essentially the Narns attack a Centauri colony. All right, it's an unprovoked attack. And this colony is basically an unimportant colony with no weapons or any real strategic importance. The Narns just want to do it. They want to push back at the Centauri. They have weapons and they have equipment, and they want to show, hey, we can attack you. The Narns hate the Centauri for what they did. They did feel like they never fully got punished for it. So basically, word of the attack spreads to the other alien races. It spreads to Londo, who is the Centauri ambassador. He speaks to his government. His government tells him basically, hey, man, this outpost is just a farming colony. It's unimportant. And by the time we get ships out there, we just, nothing isn't like, it's pointless. We don't care. So Londo tries to play a little game. He wants to embarrass his government by going to the other governments and, getting them to vote and to do something against the Narn diplomatically. All right. Of course, it doesn't really work out. It doesn't work out that way. The Narns are one step ahead of G'Kar. I'm sorry, Londo. They're one step ahead of Londo. Basically, essentially what they do is they force some of the people from the Centauri colony to say that, hey, we invited the Narns in. This Centauri were not taking care of this colony. They weren't helping us, and we invited the Narns in, and it's not an invasion. Of course, it's a lie. Eventually, what ends up happening is there's another problem going on. There's raiders attacking different ships, which that is investigated by Commander Sinclair. Eventually, they find out that the raiders are actually getting weapons from the Narn. The Narns are supplying them with weapons. And luckily enough, they have that evidence, and they go to G'Kar and tell him, hey, either have these people move off this station, off this colony, or we're going to give this information out that you're giving thugs and criminals weapons, supplying them with weapons to attack people. Okay. So it wasn't a bad episode. It wasn't a deep storyline. Wasn't a lot of fighting or action going on, but it was actually a pretty solid episode. It gives you, it kind of shows the Narns in an odd light to me. It's weird because I haven't watched this in a long time. I've watched the later seasons. In the later seasons, the Narns are much more sympathetic. They're sympathetic figures because they're the ones who sort of come under attack. I kind of forgot, like the first season or two, that they actually were the aggressors, being way more aggressive. Okay. I think this is the first episode that Commander Ivanova is on the show. And I think that they start showing you that she has problems with telepaths. There's a telepath, Talia Winters, who she just literally cannot stand. So So they show you that. It's a pretty good episode. There was some interesting stuff there. The actor who played Londo really did an excellent job. At one point, he's literally going to go kill G'Kar. Okay, he actually has a gun he hid in his room. He's going to go kill this dude. And Talia Winters actually bumps into him. And while she's a telepath from Psychor, she generally does not scan people, but extremely strong emotions are almost impossible to block out in very close proximity. So she bumps into Londo and she gets this image out of his mind. He's going to go kill G'Kar, which she notifies security and security stops him. But I say that this guy's an excellent actor. He literally seemed like he wanted to go kill this dude. So, I mean, like I said, not the greatest episode, but it was a solid episode. Actually pretty good. I hadn't watched the show in years, and I thought, okay, the first season, it's probably not going to hold up to my memories. It's probably going to be bad. But, actually, it was still a pretty good show. The only real gripe I have with Babylon 5 is some of the production values. The sets, the inside of the station look good, and the sets look good. This show used a lot of CGI back in the early days, where a lot of people still using physical models. So CGI was its infancy. It didn't look all that great. Also, from what I understand is that they shorted the show. The show was supposed to have like much more money per episode for the special effects, and they decided to cut it at the last minute. The special effects budget. So yeah, some of the ship battles and stuff like that look like, especially in this first season, look like something off of a PlayStation 2 game or an Xbox game. Actually, may look worse than that. So, I don't know, man. Just my thoughts, but it's pretty good. It's definitely worth a watch. It was a solid show. You get to see some of the characters, them forming. It's a decent episode. It was a decent episode. Not the best, but definitely worth a watch every once in a while.